for you.
I don't know. There's no way, no, a gust of wind would not blow that down.
You gotta think, that was a little bit of wood. I mean, if I had something...
1 second, everything feels normal. The next, a trailer breaks loose. A campsite is torn apart, and strange noises echo from places no one can see. These wilderness encounters start quietly, but each one leaves behind the same question. When you realize something is wrong out there, do you stay to understand it, or leave before it gets closer? On April 19, 2022, the YouTube channel Hannah Barron filmed a normal task that suddenly turned unexpected on a quiet country road. Hannah and her father were moving heavy equipment across a small bridge. Nothing seemed hurried, nothing seemed unusual.
Dad went to town, took my truck to rent a trencher, like a ditch witch, and on the way back, the trailer got to acting all funky. So he slows down, thankfully, and it comes up off the ball. It was hooked up correctly, you know, sit down on it, all that good stuff, and broke the safety chains, dented my tailgate, and stopped in the middle of the road. And then before Daddy could get out of the truck, it rolled off the road, off a bridge, and now it's laying in a creek. There's no water or anything hardly on this road, and he found the only creek on the way home for this thing to come off the trailer, the perfect spot, come off the trailer, and the whole thing rolled off in the creek. So now we brought the Lil down here to get this thing out of the creek. You might as well laugh about it. Ooh, I got that. We were just cleaning it for you. Oh, gosh. Yeah. And you can see where it skin up the pavement when it come off the trailer. And then it just rolled down and...
These on here. Yeah, because it come off right there.
Then, with no warning, the trailer detached. The hitch gave out, the weight pushed forward, and moments later, the equipment dropped into the creek below. The footage shows what came after: scratched pavement, damaged metal, and a recovery effort that needed heavy machinery.
Good morning, y'all. Throwing in a little disclaimer here. We figured out that it was a wore-out tongue on the whole trailer, so it wasn't really anything we did other than the tongue being wore out. Ended up coming off and broke the safety chains, and then dented my tailgate and busted my tail light. And I think my truck took the worst end of all of it, because the ditch witch, my dad and my cousin and some of the folks that work where we rented the ditch witch, they all got out here in the yard yesterday and drained all the water out of the oil and the gas and made sure it was still running good. And then Dad got up at daylight this morning and cut the trench for the water line that he'd, rented the thing for. They just took the trencher back, they hooked it further up on the trailer so it wouldn't fishtail so bad, hooked up more safety lines just to kind of limp it back up there to their place. Where it was hooked up was a little further back on the trailer, and it was making it fishtail even worse, which probably went into, it coming off.
Later, Hannah explained the cause was not careless driving. The equipment had simply worn out over time. The next day brought an update. Some results were fortunate, others were not. Viewers noticed something uneasy. Even experience could not prevent this. If it happened during a routine task, how many close calls are never seen? On October 30th, 2025, the YouTube channel The Outdoor Gear Review, known for solo trips and outdoor tests, travels deep into Pisgah National Forest. Luke Madison, alone on the road toward Brown Mountain, stops at Wiseman's View, an overlook linked to unexplained lights reported for more than a century. As darkness settles over the gorge, the quiet feels heavy, as if the landscape is waiting to be watched.
And we are off, everyone, heading towards the Wiseman's View. And here we are, everyone. We have this city far off in the distance. This certainly complicates things. So the question is, are the Brown Mountain lights lights from the city, lights from vehicles and whatnot? It has been studied by scientists from all around the world, and everybody seems to believe something different. I'm not sure if the camera picked that up, but I did spot a light up in the sky over those mountains over there. It was really just for a second, and then it dissipated. One thing that I find really, really interesting about the Brown Mountain Lights and all that stuff, the Cherokee Indians, they were gone before white people came into the area. But yet, the people who lived here, they saw something. They experienced something too. And to this day, there's not a good consensus of what the lights are. As you can imagine, there's all sorts of theories, including gases coming up from the forest and somehow igniting. Some say it's car lights. It's peaceful up here, peaceful and quiet. And I'll be honest, almost a little bit eerie. Go out into the middle of nowhere, hang out on the side of a mountain all by yourself for a few hours in the darkness, and then tell me how you feel.
Wind passes through the trees, and hours go by without interruption, alone at the overlook. Luke notes that the silence does not feel peaceful. It closes in, making him aware of how exposed he truly is.
Down below us is a massive gorge. We are right on the edge of it, on a cliff. It is massive. Certainly dangerous for those who are not prepared to go in there. There are hiking trails that go all over the place. Most of them are in pretty rough shape. It is very common for people to go missing out here. The last person that went missing that I'm aware of was a woman. That was last year or the year before. They found her vehicle at a trailhead, but she has vanished.
While staring down into the valley, he brings up something that happened recently. A woman entered this area and never came back. In a place this remote and dark, a person can vanish quietly, with no one realizing it until much too late.
Originally, I was going to camp out in this parking lot, but it is so windy. Why don't we drive down the road here and let's see if we could just find a simple campsite to pull off in. Something that's more sheltered than this. I'm in for a warm night, even though it's quite cool out. The heater ran out of fuel at the same time that the alarm went off. That's perfect.
Later, he remains inside the vehicle for warmth as the night turns colder. By morning, the heater cuts off as the alarm sounds. Out here, heat is not comfort, it is survival. If it had stopped sooner, the cold might have become dangerous before he woke up.
I mentioned last night the friend of my father's in that story. I will go ahead and tell you all that now. So when I was young, my dad, he worked at this factory with this other guy, and they became good friends. And they moved out to this area. Him and his wife, they had a daughter, and my brother and I, we would come over, hang out with them, and on occasion we would come out here to this area to do some camping and also to see if we could see the Brown Mountain Lights. Now, this couple, after their kid was grown, they separated, got divorced. He became like an official in the town that he lived in. He had a high-ranking position within the administration and all that stuff. He started dating a woman in the office. She had been divorced for 2 years. Her ex-husband, who lived in Europe, found out that she was dating some guy. He flew to the United States. He went to my dad's friend's office and shot him to death. How crazy is that? The ex-husband, the ex-wife, they hadn't spoken in 2 years. They had no connection, no relationship.
During the drive out, Luke says why the place still stays with him. Someone who once took him there later died suddenly. Even now, that memory seems connected to the mountain, as if some places carry heavy stories. Some viewers suggest aircraft, satellites, or military activity. Others, including lifelong locals, insist the lights move where they should not. If the explanations are normal, why do so many witnesses describe the same unease long before anyone knew what to watch for? Uploaded on July 15, 2025. This video from Paranormal Discovery brings viewers deep into the Canadian wilderness, where an abandoned gold mining town remains, decaying, quiet, and surrounded by endless forest. The crew had been to the region before, but something about these forgotten settlements kept pulling them back. Not one ghost town, but two, both swallowed by trees and eerie silence. Official records link their collapse to economic failure, yet the mood suggests more behind it, as though something there refuses visitors. The town was once the second most productive gold mining location in the province. The area had workers in movement, leaving behind an energy the crew felt still attached to the ruins. This site was also inside the same wilderness as another abandoned settlement they had explored earlier. Two deserted towns in the same forest made the team wonder whether something deeper connected them.
We are back at a location where there is said to be a cryptid beast, but no one knows what it is. Back in the day, this used to be a gold mining town. This produced the second most gold in the province. This is the second ghost town that I was mentioning when Angela and I went to the Icelandic settlement and camped out in the cabin. So we're in the same wildland, but like just in a different ghost town. There's two ghost towns in this forest. Isn't that messed up?
It is.
Let's do it. Sketch, because the one thing that comes to mind when I do enter this spot is massive cryptid vibes, but also very spiritual. I came here by myself once, drove an hour and a half down this path into a place where I probably will never go again.
I still don't understand how you did this location alone. Like the last time I was here, I remember actually getting like really freaked out.
This spot, like I said, it has a vibe, and it definitely does not want people here. Whatever is here, it's just like it's almost like forcing you out without actually physically harming you.
When they arrived at the campsite, the air already felt oppressive. Their phones lost service, and a disturbing tension settled over the area long before sunset. As night came in, that discomfort grew stronger. What started as a quiet evening changed fast when sharp metallic noises rang through the woods, followed by the heavy sound of something moving near their tents.
What is going on out there?
What the?
What the f? Oh, this camera's still on. What time is it?
No clue.
Holy shit, it's like the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Chills. Something's moving out there. There's no fucking way. Was that the table? I literally just heard the rattle of the table.
I don't know, I heard a bunch of things, but I'm half asleep.
What the?
Okay, we've gotta go out and check.
When they stepped outside, the investigators found disorder, overturned tables, scattered stones from the fire pit, and torn up ground, showing that something large had moved through camp. None of it seemed random. The group described a powerful feeling of being watched from every side, almost as if the forest itself was aware of them.
What's going on? But I swear, like the table that's out there, there's something. I'm like legit scared. Okay,
A what?
our table's down. I knew it. The fire pit's caved in.
What?
Barbecue's still there. Our salad thing is down. The Blue Eddie's still there. I knew it. Our table.
Something knock over our table, or like did a gust of wind blow it down, or?
I don't know. There's no way. No, a gust of wind would not blow that down.
Yeah, because like our chair is still up, that tiny little chair in the cooler.
Something came and did that.
It's literally right next to us, like while we were sleeping.
Like, this is actually messed up. Our stuff is literally knocked over there.
You hear that too?
What?
Do you hear that? It sounds like.
The ghost town beside their camp had generated great wealth years earlier, but older stories from before the mining period spoke of strange beings and restless spirits connected to this land. As the night went on, shadows shifted outside their lantern light. Insects swarmed, but the woods felt strangely empty of normal wildlife. Even the air seemed charged and waiting, making them afraid to stay longer.
Like we're in danger. Like if we stay, we're physically gonna be hurt or killed.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm just trying to I'm just starting.
I mean, I guess I was the first one to bring it up with the whole last dinner thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know, my nerves are shot, hon.
Okay,
there's something out here that if we stay, I don't know if it's gonna break our car or like try and get in or hurt us. Like, I don't know, we're in a tent that like anything can
get in.
By dawn, the team chose to leave. They packed fast, still unsettled by the night. Later, they called the trip their most disturbing yet, not because of what they saw, but because of what they felt in that forest. Nothing had to attack or scream to be terrifying. The silence alone was enough to stay with them. Jeff is a creator who usually uploads guitar covers. Nothing strange or disturbing, just simple music content. But in a video posted on February 13th, 2021, the situation changed in a completely unexpected way. While at his home near a forest in New Hampshire, he suddenly heard odd sounds coming from the woods. At first, he thought it could be an injured dog or something similar. Curious and a little concerned, he went outside with his camera to check. He filmed the area, waiting for the sound to happen again. But everything became silent as soon as he started recording.
Okay. Heard a sound out here. So I'm recording in hopes that I hear it again. It was downright terrifying, but of course it stopped as soon as I started. All I can hear right now is dog barking, I think. Pretty sure that's a porcupine. That's not what I heard. Heard something quite different, but that was a porcupine.
Only far-off noises, like barking and familiar wildlife calls, could be heard in the background. For a time, it sounded like the common high-pitched cries that foxes or owls can make, and he believed he had found the answer. He began walking back toward the house, assuming the mystery was over. Then the sound came back, this time much deeper, much stranger, and clearly from inside the forest.
There it is again. That's what I heard when I first came out. That is terrifying. That was either like the biggest, sickest coyote, or I have no idea. Wow. I've heard coyotes many times out here, all hours, from lone coyotes doing that long, like wolf type call to like a pack of coyotes yelping with a kill. Owls, fisher cats, foxes. I know that they sound crazy. That is totally different. That was deep. Oh my God.
It was completely different from what he had heard before. The tone was unsettling, and Jeff quickly realized it did not match the normal sounds of foxes, owls, fisher cats, or even coyotes that he often heard around the area. Whatever produced that noise seemed unlike any animal he knew. After it stopped, Jeff shared the footage, explaining that he had never heard anything like it. Even after looking up calls from local wildlife, he could not find a close match. In the comments, he asked hunters and outdoor enthusiasts for help, people who would understand forest sounds better than most. Many viewers replied that they had heard similar eerie cries near their own homes, yet had never discovered what caused them. Some thought it might have been a moose, possibly one that was injured, and parts of the call did sound somewhat close to that idea. But at the same time, there was a strange, pained quality in the noise that did not fit a normal moose call. Others quickly suggested much darker explanations. Jeff himself did not know. He could hear some resemblance to a moose, but there was something else underneath it, an odd, off-key edge that made it feel very different. He ended by asking viewers what they thought it was, hoping someone with more experience could identify the strange call. This footage is from the YouTube channel Lisa's Escapades. Uploaded on September 8th, 2024. Lisa lives off the grid, traveling solo and spending time outdoors. But being alone in remote nature always raises vulnerability. She headed onto a trail she had wanted to hike for some time. Early in the walk, she entered an area linked to a reported Bigfoot sighting, and almost immediately the mood seemed to change.
So I just got here, and out this way, right behind one of those trees, I saw something really tall and dark. And I got my binoculars out to look at it closer, and it's gone. So that's kind of weird. It's all flooded out there too. So there was a sighting over here earlier this year or late last year. I can't remember the date. So that's interesting. So I keep hearing drum beats off this way. Now there is a road out here, but the drum beats I keep hearing have been for about, so I don't think it's a car going by. And there's no places to park around here, so that's kind of odd. I'm smelling something really nasty. It could be the standing water, but I don't know, it smells like trash.
The woods became silent. Strange sounds carried faintly from far away, along with a foul odor she could not clearly place. The farther she went, the heavier the area felt. Deep growls rose now and then, followed by long pauses of silence that did not feel normal.
I hear dogs barking at something, and it sounded like there was a big thump, and then they started barking, like a growl too. Where are these dogs coming from? Man, they were upset over something. It looks like straight through here, it looked like something big walked right through that grass, because it's all mashed down. See, it looks like a path going straight through here.
Step by step, she kept moving forward. Still, the feeling of being watched grew stronger. With odd noises around her, she became sure that someone, or something, was trailing her through the forest.
There's definitely a trail going right straight through here. And if you keep going that way, you'll run into the Florida Trail. I believe there's a campsite over there too. Like a remote campsite where you can camp on the Florida Trail. I keep hearing something clanking together.
She continued on, determined to finish the hike, but that presence never seemed to fully disappear. Even after she got out, she stayed convinced she had not been alone. Maybe it was wildlife responding to her movement, or maybe isolation made every sound sharper. If you felt that constant sense of being followed on an empty trail, would you turn around or keep going and hope it was nothing? This footage comes from the YouTube channel Rachel and Tommy, uploaded on August 18th, 2022. Rachel and Tommy are known for their van life travels, often picking quiet forested spots to camp with their dog. This outing started the same way, reaching there at sunset, preparing camp, starting a fire, and easing into the quiet of the evening. But the peace did not last.
Oh, so where we are is actually kind of close to the road.
Yeah.
Might be able to see it. It was just getting dark, so we had to find a place. I have a feeling that it's not going to stay busy, because as soon as the cars go by, you can hear.
Nothing. I've been hearing some strange noises, but it's probably just the traffic and...
Yeah, but I don't think there's any traffic back out in there. I don't think.
I thought I heard an owl a while ago.
Yeah. This road is busier than I thought it was going to be. Thank you. Go away.
Strange sounds began carrying through the trees. Although they were parked close to a main road, something about the noises felt wrong. They tried to brush it off, turning their attention instead to the fire's warmth and the comfort of their routine. Later, nearby people needed assistance with a flat tire.
So we're sitting there, fixing to go lay down, and we heard somebody had a flat down here, so I'm going to walk down here and see if they need help. Anything I can do to help them, because this is the absolute middle of nowhere. So we go back to the van and get our 4-way lug wrench out of it, because they don't have one. Good thing I came down here. It's just the kind thing to do. You know, would I want that to be us stuck somewhere and somebody could at least offer to help, and they didn't? I'm gonna run down and see if I'm pretty sure I have a 4-way here in the van. There's a van back up over here.
Tommy joined others to help. Still, camping near traffic in the woods after dark always brings vulnerability. Anyone can come close. Anyone can watch, even during simple moments of kindness. That quiet risk never completely disappears. Maybe the sounds were only passing vehicles and moving branches. Or maybe the setting made every noise seem louder. If you were camping in the dark and strangers stopped nearby, would you step in immediately or pause to protect your space first? The next disturbing clip comes from Stealth Camp Sweethearts, a U.S. couple who post outdoor trips centered on stealth camping, isolated locations, and immersive time in nature. It is February 10th, 2026, at Peaceful Hills Retreat in Tennessee, United States. Michael and Ashley complete the setup of their secluded campsite. While sitting near the fire, they spot a bright object in the sky. It remains motionless for a moment, then suddenly disappears without crossing the sky the way a plane or helicopter would.
Can you imagine how much wood we would have to find? But you gotta think, that was a little bit of wood. I mean, if I had something...
Did not like that. What? What is that?
Huh?
Shit's getting crazy. We heard a gunshot and now whatever animal that is going nuts.
Coyote? With a bunch of guys yelling.
No, it was an animal. I think it was coyote.
Well, it was crazy though.
Yeah, it was. I don't hear no more.
I can hear 4.
Later, as they try to restart the campfire, they hear odd, high-pitched noises coming from the forest.
What the? Do y'all hear that?
The sounds do not seem like voices and appear to carry through the trees.
Did you hear that? There was a noise out there.
Well, you bring Bigfoot over here. Do y'all believe in Bigfoot?
I do.
I mean, I believe in Bigfoot. But you bring his ass over here, what the hell am I gonna do?
It's been a good birthday, though. Once this fire goes out, we'll play. Be going to bed. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Once this fire goes out, we'll play. Be going to bed. What do you think?
Sounds good.
More strange noises come from farther inside the woods. They joke about Bigfoot, but both stay alert, watching the tree line and listening closely in case something is near them.
That was the first noise I heard because I got up to go pee. This is like 1 o'clock in the morning. Then when I get back in the tent, I hear, ah! And I was thinking if that would have happened while I was out here peeing in the dark, I would have died. But it wasn't long, maybe 10 minutes after that, I heard like roaming around the campground area over here.
I didn't hear nothing. I slept good. I was warm.
Yeah, he was snoring. I got hot actually while we were sleeping, kicked my socks off.
Our mattress lost a little air.
Yeah.
Hopefully it don't have a hole in it.
During the night, one of them hears movement around the campground after returning to the tent. By morning, they discuss the cold night and minor problems with their bedding. The birthday camping trip turns into a night defined by small but uneasy moments. If you were camping in the dark and heard those sounds, would you stay calm or begin wondering what was really out there?